it's halftime, so really quickly I want to talk about, for starters, Lamine Yamal is so missed. He is so Rafinha could never fill the shoes of Lamine Yamal. If I have to explain that to you, you need to go watch the American football. I'm so sorry. That is not a Ballon d'Or winner. Rafinha is not a Ballon d'Or podium level player. He is not a Ballon d'Or top 10 level player. He is a space attacker. That is it. And he has a hard shot. He doesn't even place it well. He can hustle like a dog. He has that South American grit. And he's a space attacker. He's fast and he has a hard shot. He can't take his defender on. He cannot dribble at his defender. He is not a high quality winger. He can play behind the striker and run into space. I'm fine with that. He cannot fill the shoes of Lamine Yamal. Rashford, I've actually enjoyed. It started with that play where he dummied the ball and then took it from about halfway until the net, and then he ended up missing. But he takes his man on. He seems more dangerous than Rafinha. If Rafinha does something, it's going to be a back post finish, which I would love to see. But Jared Martin also, he he doesn't offer anything going forward right now. He is a good crosser of the ball, but he doesn't overlap. And it's so congested, and you kind of just see him standing, not really providing much value going forward, which is frustrating, of course, because you already know Koundé's not overlapping. But Rafinha's not taking on his guy, and Koundé's not going to overlap Rafinha. So our right side's dead. Rashford, I hope, he can pull something out of a bag for us. Lewandowski just needs that one touch in the box, I know. I think Araujo's been good. I think he's won a lot of his aerial battles so far, which has been good. I mean, he hasn't really misplaced any passes from what I can recall. Everyone's kind of doing what they got to do at the end of the day. Firmin's finding the spaces. I wish there was an instance where Firmin got the ball in the half space in zone 14 and turned but didn't drive. I think he could have drove there and either looked to open up a shooting angle, or, if the defender slides over to him, he can slot Lewandowski in or skip it to Rashford. I'm hoping to see a little bit more risk oriented when in the final third, especially like I don't want to slow down a 3-on-3 counterattack like I just seen in the first half. We have a whole 45 minutes. And Newcastle didn't score within the first 15 when they were really applying pressure. We ended up taking a better control over the game. We're not in full control yet, in my opinion. Once we get the first goal, I think we can consider it more of a full control like sense. Honestly, I still think we're going to take this game. I don't know if he's going to make any halftime substitutions, but I do want to see more from Rafinha, Mr. Ballon d'Oro to everybody. So I need to see more from him. I just need Lewandowski to get that one chance, a nice link-up play with Fermi and Lopez. Maybe Olmo comes in because that Olmo and Lewandowski connection. If Lewandowski can come in and hit a flick on or a layoff to Olmo, it could be very dangerous in the right area. And if Rashford continues this way, he's gonna end up on the score sheet. Let's get to the second half, okay? Visca basta. Mm, where do I even start? Well, I guess we all saw Rashford's second half business coming, but I just want to start by talking about not so much about Pedri because everyone already knows about Pedri. He's been doing this for the last year and a half or so consistently. But I think De Jong is finally going to get his flowers now that a very small percentage of us Barcelona fans have been giving him over the last 2 years. I think he was outstanding yesterday. I think he's been good ever since Flick came in. Obviously, he's missed a few months last season to injury, but other than that, he's been good. Like he's been Frankie, right? But yesterday was just like another example of why it's so hard for a team to verse Barcelona because not only you have to worry about Pedri, but with De Jong's ball carrying, press resistance, even the physical attributes that he has too. He's strong on the ball, but he's a fast carrier. When he carries the ball, it's powerful, and it's like people can't get near him. So I think De Jong is going to start to get the flowers. I think this is just the beginning of a double pivot to take over the world with Pedri and De Jong. And I'm not going to talk too much about when Marc Bernal comes back, but a lot of coolers know for the future, Marc Bernal is going to be something special too. And once he's ready and makes this midfield duo a trio, like I love Pablo Gavi, but good luck, getting in. Gavi is going to have to compete against Bernal and De Jong because Pedri's spot is pretty much solidified. But for now, let's just talk about De Jong and Pedri. What a duo they've been so far. and they're only gonna get better together. It's almost like they trust each other as if they're like as strong as they trust themselves. The the way they just go between the ball, they know they're the two best players on the field by the biggest margin, and it's like they play like they're looking down on these guys. It's beautiful to watch these two orchestrate the game. I think Araujo needs major flowers after yesterday's performance. Major. Not only with his aerial battles won and his blocked shots and crosses and yada yada, but I think with the ball too, it was one of the best Araujo performances I've seen in a long time. And he's been getting a lot of hate on Twitter and whatever other media you guys use, for his ball playing, for his IQ, for his inability to play the offside trap, and this and that. Everybody wanted him sold. A lot of people in the Barcelona fan base were not happy with him over the last few years. Like I said, I've been a big fan of him just because for the year we won the league with Xavi, for example, he was such a beast, and I know the potential that he has as a channel defender, as a low block defender whenever you need that. Yes, I know against Inter last year, silly business, but I don't think the loss was completely on him anyway against Inter. I think he played great yesterday. As I forgot to mention, I couldn't watch the second half yesterday. As I recorded the first half reaction and then had to come back today after rewatching the second half. I think he played great yesterday. I'm very happy to see that going forward. And like I said about one of my other videos, I love how Araujo goes a few games without starting, but can slot right back in, and he has no problems. Like Rafinha and Lewandowski came off the bench against Valencia and scored 2 goals each. Araujo doesn't play a few games. He because of the opponent you're versing. Sometimes Eric's a better fit. Sometimes Kubarsi and Eric or Kubarsi Christensen. Last season, Kubarsi and Inigo Martinez. Araujo understands that as club captain. He still doesn't have the complete authority to just play 90 minutes every game, but he's okay with it, and he's working so hard to prove so many people wrong. It's so beautiful to see. I think honestly, Rafinha, I had a little bit, not necessarily negative things to say about him, but I did think he played good in the second half. I think he took some opportunities to dribble at Dan Burn. Obviously, he's not as effective as Rashford, as Lamine Yamal at it, but I just want to see it happening more and more so it can improve. Firmino, I think, played like an amazing game. I love his quick combination, but I even his work rate, his pressing is like scary to watch. He presses like he plays for Newcastle. He presses like his team doesn't have the ball 65% of the time. It is unbelievable. And there's a few times near our 18-yard box where Fermin Lopez comes in a second, pickpockets, starts us on a counterattack. I talked about Rashford in the first half. I started the video with saying we knew he was going to score, but I think he played a wonderful second half. There was even that one pass he played to Rafinha, outstanding first time ball. He took Trippier down the line. It was great. And I think he got like more and more confident as the game progressed, obviously, because he was playing great. But he started to get in on those Pedri, De Jong combinations, those triangles. He was passing with Jared Martin back and forth, dropping in, getting the ball from Frankie, playing it back at him just to move Newcastle around a bit. Um, Shows that he's making himself at home. I always thought Rashford would be more of a Champions League player for us than a La Liga player because his abilities are not really categorized for low blocks, which you do see a lot in La Liga, but more to the Champions League where it's high intensity and a lot of space to run into, counterattacks. When there's two good teams going against each other, you won't see a low block too often. So I think Rashford in the Champions League is going to be scary. I said once on Twitter a few months ago, I think, if Rafinha was able to have that season last year, I think bringing in Rashford, he will be able to have that season, but even better if things go right. Because he is a better one-on-one dribbler than Rafinha. I think they both have great shooting techniques, but I do think Rashford's is better, and I think he's a better finisher than Rafinha. And I also think because he's coming off the left, it's easier for Rashford to create his own shots as he can cut in, where Rafinha as a left-footed player, you can't really cut in and shoot. So somehow he still scored 30-something goals. That's amazing, whatever. But I literally think Rashford could score 45 goals this season if he keeps playing the way like we've seen today. I think unbelievable. Um, Everybody else, standard. I say standard, but it's crazy that I could say standard because Joan Garcia was amazing, but like that's just what like it's not like we expect it from him. We know, like the aura off Juan Garcia is ridiculous. Um, He looks like the next Manuel Neuer. I mean, his ball playing, his cross claiming, his authority in the box, his shot stopping. He always looks so calm. Like it's crazy. Kubarsi, another top tier performance. Jared Martin was struggling a little bit against Elanga in the first half, but I still think at the end of the day he held his own. And I mean, we had no other choice really, so no complaints. Jules Koundé, I think that was a sensational performance, especially in that second half against Anthony Gordon, who may have been carrying a cramp or this or that, but I think Koundé, one on that wing, he is a lockdown animal. If you watch SDS, I do think they made a mistake not putting him in top three right backs. 100% for me, he's a lock for top three right backs. That was a monster performance from him. And then, yeah, you've seen the subs come in. Everybody kind of really did their thing. Casado came in 5 minutes, got a yellow card. Olmo came in. You've seen the combinations, which is what we love about him. But I think him and Ferran are not that's not the thing. I think it's Olmo, Lewandowski, and Armin Ferran. I think those are the better combinations. But when you're with Lewandowski, I think anyone can play because his experience, his hold-up play, yada yada. Anyway, hey, we took the dub, PSG in 2 weeks. Not really much to say about there now. It's going to be in the next video. So anyway, thank you for listening. Visca Barca. Take care.